Gabriel, a familiar phantom in his own home, often found solace in the glow of his computer screen. His parents, perpetually consumed by the demanding hum of their careers, left him to navigate the quiet expanse of their house alone. His closest confidant was a voice on the other side of a pixelated world, a friend he'd met in the sprawling landscapes of Aethelgard Online. Their bond was forged in late-night chats and shared quests, a digital lifeline that filled the void of his isolated reality. He'd confided in this friend about the cavernous loneliness that echoed through his home, the yearning for a family dinner that wasn't a rushed takeout affair, the quiet ache for a parent's presence that extended beyond a perfunctory goodnight. He'd often impulsively invited his online companion over, a desperate hope flickering that a real-life connection might bridge the distance, but the answer was always a quiet refusal. One sweltering Tuesday, as the last bell echoed through the school halls, a restless anticipation bubbled within Gabriel. It was his birthday, a fact his parents, in their perpetual rush, often overlooked. He practically sprinted home, the desire to escape the suffocating heat almost as strong as his eagerness to log on. He tossed his backpack onto his bed, the familiar click of his mouse a comforting sound as he launched Aethelgard. His friend, however, wasn't online. A pang of disappointment, sharp and unexpected, pierced through him. Shaking it off, he immersed himself in a solo mission, the rich orchestral score of the game washing over him through his headphones. He was deep in a perilous dungeon, narrowly dodging a colossal dragon's fiery breath, when a jarring metallic clang ripped through the fabric of the game's audio. It was loud, too loud, and distinctly not part of Aethelgard's soundscape. Gabriel, heart thumping, instinctively ripped off his headphones. The sudden silence in the room was absolute, unnerving. Had he imagined it? He hesitated, then, shrugging it off as an old house settling, he replaced his headphones and re-entered the fantastical world. Moments later, a flicker in his peripheral vision caught his eye. He jolted, turning his head to see his mother, her head oddly tilted, peeking into his doorway. Her usually warm smile was absent, replaced by a vacant, unblinking stare. "Mom?" Gabriel's voice was a whisper, a strange mix of surprise and relief. "You're home early today." He pulled off his headphones, his fingers hovering over the pause button, a genuine smile beginning to form. But then, as he looked back at the doorway, a chill snaked down his spine. Above his mother's head, his father's face materialized, equally expressionless, equally unblinking. Both their heads were slightly skewed, as if balanced precariously on invisible shelves. A wave of unease washed over Gabriel, eclipsing the earlier relief. This wasn't right. His parents never came home early, let alone together. He stood slowly, the familiar scent of dust and old books in his room suddenly replaced by something acrid, faintly metallic. His smile faltered, replaced by a deepening frown. They weren't saying anything. They weren't even moving, just staring. A prickle of fear, cold and sharp, began to spread. "Gabriel." The sound, distorted and drawn out, slithered from his father's lips, not in a voice he recognized, but a guttural rasp that seemed to tear through the quiet. Then his father's head moved, not a natural turn, but a grotesque jerking motion, as if yanked by an invisible string. His mother's head followed, a synchronized, horrifying twitch. Gabriel took a hesitant step back, his eyes darting between the two motionless, yet subtly shifting figures in the doorway. The silence in the room became a suffocating weight. His breath hitched in his throat. Just as he was about to call out again to demand an explanation, a hulking shadow fell over the doorway. A man, impossibly large, filled the frame, his features obscured by the dim light of the hallway. He held something in each hand, something that dripped. Slowly, the man raised his arms, and in the dim light Gabriel saw them. Two severed heads, one unmistakably his mother's, the other his father's, their unblinking eyes fixed on him, a grotesque parody of the figures he'd just seen. The man's lips stretched into a wide, sickening grin, revealing a flash of stained yellowish teeth.
Happy birthday, Gabriel.
The man rasped, as the silence in the room was shattered by Gabriel's own blood-curdling scream.